Previously on The Flash, HR, the Wells of last season, dies to save Iris from Savitar. Killer Frost leaves the group with a potential cure and wants to find herself on her own terms. Julian leaves as well for whatever reason. But hey, who even cares about that guy?
I do.
After everything seems fine and dandy, it turns out that this big speedstorm is coming for Barry. The only way to save Central City from the storm is for Barry to enter the Speed Force to regain its balance. Barry gives the lead to Cisco, and Wally is now the official Flash. And at last, Barry tells Iris to keep running. I'm not crying, you are. And that's how we got here. New season, new plot holes and a new recap. Let's get started! It's 6 months later, and things are seemingly going fine in Central City. Although losing Barry, HR and Caitlin has been quite a hit to the team, Wally, Cisco and Joe are still going strong stopping metas. Though to Iris' annoyance, who is now the leader of Team Flash, they haven't been as effective in stopping metas as before losing Barry. Their bickering is interrupted by the sound of their blaring meta alarm, and they rush downtown to stop this new threat. Downtown they find a samurai demanding the Flash. But not just any Flash, he wants the Flash. And if they don't deliver soon, he will destroy the city. Cisco tells that in secret he had already been working on something that could potentially bring Barry back. However, Iris doesn't seem to want to try to bring Barry back. If they were to try and fail, it would crush her dreams of ever seeing him again. If they wouldn't try, she'd get to keep those dreams. Cisco goes out to recruit Caitlin, who now isn't Killer Frost anymore, and for some reason is working at a bar. And together they try to bring Barry back without keeping Iris in the loop. The plan seems to have failed, and Iris is pissed off about how her friends and her father could go behind her back and do something like that. However, her angry rambling gets interrupted by a phone call from Cecile, stating that she has something they need to see. Cisco's plan worked, but at what cost? Barry has a beard now, and he is writing all kinds of weird symbols. What could these symbols mean? Cisco tries to translate the symbols, and after multiple failed attempts, he has the final answer. The symbols mean, this house is bitchin'? As you can probably guess, Barry is in no state to save the city right now, so Iris, using her amazing leadership skills, thinks up a plan. She will go to the samurai, get captured by the samurai, and then pray to every god she knows that this will somehow snap Barry out of his "pink stars are falling" state. Against all odds, his plan somehow works and Barry regains all his functions and also is faster for some reason that totally is not, so he finally does not lie in the opening of the show. Caitlin looks a little frosty but quickly warms up again and... Wait, what is that? You mean to tell me that squished potato in a flying chair is this season's villain? Yeah, I guess he'll fit right in next to the giant monkey and the Joker ripoff. As time goes on, we see that Caitlin is starting to have more trouble keeping her Killer Frost side cool. The breacher alarm goes off, and the team rushes to intercept the unknown breacher. Right as they are about to shoot, Cisco runs in front of them yelling, "Don't shoot! Because it's Gypsy! Yes! I mean, oh hey, Gypsy's back. Cool." Gypsy is here for a planned date with Cisco who, due to the meta of the day, has to delay the date. Gypsy tells him that it's fine, but as everyone knows, when a girl says it's fine, it ain't so fine, nuh-uh! Over in House O'Ellen, things aren't going perfect, and Caitlin suggests to Iris that maybe they should go see the therapist that she and Ronnie went to before he died. Iris says no, because they are Barry and Iris, right?
Hold on for a sec. She says that they are Barry and Iris, as if they have been Barry and Iris since the start. But remember back when Iris kept Barry in the friendzone for pretty much his entire life and only started dating him after her fiancé died? I don't know, but moving on.
Iris brings this suggestion to Barry, but Barry doesn't see why they need to see a therapist and semi-respectfully declines. After capturing the meta of the day, they are in Iron Heights and we get a menacing look from the warden, which is totally not any foreshadowing for a future episode.
Foreshadowing.
We get our first glance at how our new bus metas came to be. When Barry came out of the Speed Force, he came out with such force that he created a bunch of dark matter, affecting everyone who was unfortunate enough to be on a bus that just so happened to be positioned right where he came out of the Speed Force. Such a coincidence.
Foreshadowing.
Harry, the ultimate version of Harrison Wells from Earth 2 and Season 2, comes to Earth 1 bearing some bad news for Wally in the form of a breakup cube. Wally decides it's time for him to spread his wings. He feels unimportant in Team Flash now that Barry is back. Though to be honest, he kinda is. Just saying. Oh, and Cecile's pregnant now. While searching for any clues that could lead them to the new metas, they find an OU by an old acquaintance, Ralph Dibny. Ralph Dibny is an ex-police detective who created false evidence to get someone arrested. Barry found out and Ralph got fired because of it. Joe and Barry pay him a visit to see if he was on the bus that got hit by dark matter. And although Ralph claims to not have been on the bus that day, he did get a bit more flexible recently. Barry really doesn't like Ralph and calls all bus metas, including Ralph, villains. Iris changes Barry's mind though, then Barry agrees to train Ralph to become a hero. To anyone who hasn't been paying attention the last 73 episodes, major spoiler coming up. Barry Allen is the Flash.
I'm the Flash!
Thanks to Ralph, the group knows that the villain they are fighting is called DeVoe. What DeVoe? He does not know. But thanks to the great, the awesome, the smart, the totally not Rick and Morty ripoff Council of Wells, the gang finds out the DeVoe they are looking for is the one and only Clifford DeVoe. We go back to the past and see how a smarter man became an even more smarter man. We find out that the particle accelerator explosion that gave Barry his powers also powered the thinking cap Professor DeVoe created. And thus, the Thinker was born. Somehow Barry finds out everything and he exposes DeVoe's plan. Just no one believes him. Barry decides to break into DeVoe's house to find evidence to show his terrible friends that he isn't crazy. This backfires immensely, as there was a picture taken of him rummaging through DeVoe's house. The DeVoes now have a restraining order against him and Barry is suspended from his job. Barry's plan wasn't the only thing that backfired though, as we see that in the past, when DeVoe got his powers, DeVoe is starting to get very ill because of all the newfound knowledge and power. As DeVoe's body is rapidly deteriorating, Marlies, his wife, comes up with the blueprints for something that should be able to stop his body from getting damaged even further. Back in the future, Barry, despite his restraining order, confronts DeVoe and to Barry's surprise, he reveals almost everything, proving that Barry wasn't crazy. The whole team apologizes to Barry for doubting his amazing intellect. And wait, who's that? Oh, it's Wally! Why is Wally here? He is still utterly useless. Just go to the legends already. Barry and Iris are getting married, but the party gets interrupted by some killjoy Nazis. A whole 5-episode arc happens, which is too long to summarize here, but after they were finally able to stop the Nazi invasion, they are finally able to get married in this nice, calm, and beautiful moment. And then Felicity ruins it by suddenly wanting to get married as well. While Barry and Iris are unwrapping the many gifts they got for their wedding, they find one gift that was just a total disappointment. A knife set with only one knife. Not suspicious at all if you are to ask me. It's just some shoddy gifting.
Foreshadowing.
Caitlin gets abducted by Amunet, and at the exact same time as that is happening, Barry and Iris see DeVoe while walking through a dark alley. Barry attacks, but gets hooked by the flying chair and gets taken to DeVoe's lair. 2 people getting abducted at the same time? That's quite a coinkydink. Amunet abducted Caitlin to perform surgery on someone she accidentally shot, and Barry was abducted by DeVoe for reasons we can only speculate about. Moving on. Caitlin's patient is a meta called Dominic who can read minds, who got his powers from, you guessed it, the bus incident. Together they start plotting their escape, and using both Dominic's powers and Caitlin's wits, they escape. Although Caitlin and Dominic have escaped their captor, Barry is still in the process of escaping. He is vibrating his body so fast that he goes invisible and DeVoe isn't able to see him. Barry runs and almost escapes when DeVoe scoops him up again and takes him on a trip that is 4D theater worthy. DeVoe presumably dies, which is a bit odd considering we're only on episode 9, but hey, we can all go home and go to your Christmas party. However, the party gets cut short for Barry when an alarm goes off at his house. While on his way to check out what could have set off the alarm, he gets a call from Dominic. In a not so surprising turn of events, Dominic is actually DeVoe who took over both his body and his powers. DeVoe left a little gift for Barry in the form of a stabbed corpse and knife. Who does DeVoe think he is? Not even wrapping the gift? Now that's shoddy gifting. DeVoe is totally fine with his new, fit body, but Marlies is having some trouble accepting the fact that her husband no longer looks like the husband she knew. Barry has been arrested and is now on trial for the murder of Clifford DeVoe. Even though the evidence has clearly been forged, Marlies is being represented by the best lawyer in Central City, which makes Barry's odds of winning exponentially smaller. Iris, against Barry's wishes, wants to expose Barry's true identity as the Flash to save him from going to jail. But Barry stops her, and they both enter a Speed Force aura, allowing Barry to talk to Iris. Barry convinces her not to expose him and tells her that they'll find another way. To no one's surprise, Barry was deemed guilty by the jury, and Barry is sent off to Iron Heights for the rest of his miserable life.